Hi everybody, welcome to Natural Disasters. I'm Brother Archibald. I'm excited to have you guys this semester. I wanted to start off by telling a little story about a disaster. One of the things I love about disasters is how they can be so interdisciplinary, that the disaster can really affect so many different things and have so many different impacts in every way possible. So I'm going to tell a story about a disaster that happened a long time ago that you probably never heard of. But it affected Earth's climate, it affected literature, it affected technology, it affected religion, and ultimately changed history and makes it possible for us to be here today. So without further ado, let's dig into some maps to really tell this story. So in 1815, there is this volcano called Mount Tambora that erupted. And this volcano started out 14,000 feet tall, and at the end of the eruption, it was probably only 9,000 feet tall. And so huge amount of ash and rock and, all sorts of material was thrown up. And so there were these giant flows that ran down the mountainside and killed about 10,000 people, flows of kind of lava and ash and rocks and all sorts of material, that killed, pretty much everybody on the surrounding island. And then soon after that, there's a tsunami that actually happened, and the people in surrounding islands from that experienced that. And then there was ash, this huge cloud of ash that was deposited that actually caused kind of a layer of darkness in the surrounding area for actually 2 or 3 days. And this whole big area that you see in gray here, this all received about a half an inch of ash due to Mount Tambora, the eruption. But even worse than that, so a lot of the, the bigger particles, they fall out within minutes or within days or hours or even a few weeks. But the finer particles, they would stay in the atmosphere for weeks or months or even years. And these finer ash particles that were stuck in the atmosphere actually caused the climate of the Earth to change. And what happened was the ash in the atmosphere reflected the sun, so then the planet didn't get nearly as warm as it was. And it caused what they call in 1816, which was the year with no summer. And this affected the whole world. So in Europe, there was definitely noticing of this effect. So and it caused a lot of things. So one of the things was so in June 1816 there was bad weather and people were stuck inside, and Mary Shelley and some friends kind of had a contest. Since they were stuck inside all day, they had a contest to see who could think of fun ideas for stories. And that's when she came up with the idea for the story of Frankenstein. So that's when Frankenstein was written. On a more serious note, there were huge famines all throughout Europe, in Ireland and Germany, all over, famines of oats, famines of grain. And at this time, this is when the bicycle was actually invented, because it became much less practical to have horses around. So this is when the bike was invented. On the other side of the ocean, in the United States, the farmers also felt this in their weather. So Joseph Smith Sr., he had a farm, right, and he had planted his crops. He needed to have a good year so that things would work out, so he could keep the farm and so that they could stay there. And it actually ended up being the worst possible year. So that summer of 1816, the year without a summer, right between June and August, there were 4 major frosts that destroyed all of his plants. So they had no harvest really that year. And so that's what caused Joseph Smith Sr. to have to move his family in 1816, 1817 time frame, all the way to Palmyra, New York, to the Finger Lakes region of New York, which is where they built the Smith farm there. And that's where Joseph Smith was first exposed to this religious excitement, and when he started to have these questions about God. And that's also where Joseph Smith was able to find the gold plates hidden in the Hill Cumorah. And so because of that disaster, Joseph Smith ended up being in the right place at the right time. And I think this is a good symbol kind of for all disasters of how the effects of the disaster can be complicated and can be really far reaching.